What is up, Teach Better family? It is 5 o'clock Eastern time, which means it's time for your brain break. This is your brain break it is Wednesday, November 17th. Can you believe it's November 17th already? This is crazy. As you can see, I am upgrading today. We don't have Dave, although Dave may or may not be on Carly's shirt. But we've got Carly speaking with us, the brand new, literally yesterday, newly published author. So we're going to talk about Carly's book. We're going to play some, I don't know, not necessarily trivia. I got a bunch of questions that I'm going to throw at Carly. We'll probably talk about the Teach Better conference at some point and some other things going on, but we're going to have a good time. She's rocking the beanie right now. I have bourbon to celebrate. It's going to be a good time. So stick with us. We're going to be back in about, 52 seconds. And we're back with Brain Break. I got Carly here. I'm super excited. It worked out so well that Dave had something going on tonight. Dave's actually doing all sorts of festivities and celebrations for his son's 16th birthday party. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. Carly can come on because her books come out. It just worked out. The stars aligned. And here you are. The book came out yesterday, so we're going to get into that. Before we go there, if you're watching with us, drop in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. What are you taking a break from? Have you bought the book yet? Let us know what's going on there. But Carly, how are you feeling? Because we talked before, and you said emotional roller coaster, which I remember when Teach Better came out, which was a while ago now. It feels like, but it is. So I'm gonna have you tell me about the emotional roller coaster first. Then we'll actually talk about what the book is. But tell me about how your emotions were yesterday and how you're feeling right now with this book coming out.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I lived 8 lives in one day yesterday. Like it was up and down like this the entire day. And it was like battling feelings of like, oh my goodness, this is out. What's going to happen now? And then like, oh my gosh, yay! I'm so excited. And like everything in between. And then as people like I felt so overwhelmed too. I feel like I'm so blessed to know so many amazing people and have so many kind friends who were sharing and things like that. And so I felt super overwhelmed and just like I felt like wrapped up in a hug, and it was a good feeling. But yes, it was everything. It was so much.
Do you have any of the you kind of alluded to, but do you have any of the, oh man, like I put a lot of stuff in this book, like everyone knows now. Like
Yes.
Was that in there? Like that
like a whole lot of that. There was a lot of that. And I even shared in one of the chapters, I shared some pretty like personal stories. And now I'm like, now it's out. There's no going back.
You can't take it out of someone's hands at this point.
Exactly. So now it's released into the world, and like, I don't know. So there was a lot of panic there. Oh man, what a day. What a day.
Okay, so the book's called Moving Beyond for Multilingual Learners. It's innovative supports for linguistically diverse students. Say that 3 times fast. Take us into the book. What is it like? Give us a little bit of the idea of like, what is it about? What am I going to take away for? Who's it for? Who should read it? I mean, and I know everyone should read it, but like really, like if you can narrow it down, like tell us about the book more, and then I want to get into like how it came about. But first is like, what is it?
Okay, so this book, It's exactly what the title says. It's moving beyond. So I think that as teachers, no matter what our roles are, and even as leaders too, we come into our roles, into our positions, and we inherit a lot of different practices and even traditions and things like that. And we inherit a lot of almost blanket statement advice pieces. And so I remember as an English learner teacher, so I was an EL teacher for 5 years. I had students across 60 different languages and from every like part of the world and every level of English proficiency. And I remember going to trainings and, learning from, different folks. And the blanket statement was always just add visuals. Like that was it. That's how to serve kids with language needs, just add visuals. And so it became a source of like, just frustration for me. Like, what else can I be doing? What else can, we all do as a school, as a system, as, a profession to really move beyond that. And so the book is for everybody who serves students, in particular multilingual learners. So I wrote this with the lens of like an EL bilingual dual language teacher, but I also wrote it through the lens of a gen ed teacher. So like whether you're teaching science at the 7th grade level or you teach kindergarten, I hope that folks are able to pull different things from the book.
So let's go into that. I love that you ended with, I hope they can pull different things. If 1,000 educators bought your book tomorrow and all 1,000 of them are only going to pull one thing and that's all they got out of your book. So I actually have a theory about where I say it's like even the best written books, like these, books that are meant to be professional development and growth, stuff like that. Even the best books, typically you're only pulling 2 to 3 things out of them really that like really impact. And like, that's huge. Like, cause that can change everything. If they only got one, what's the one thing you really hope someone would take away from this book? And I know that's probably hard to answer, which is
that
why
is really hard to answer because there's a lot of different directions that the book goes in. But I think the biggest one is that no matter what your role is with students, you have the power to really be a change agent, not only for the students who are in front of you, but for their families, for the entire student group that you're serving. And that's a really powerful place to be. And so we need to step into those shoes, but also like understand the enormity of that, of being a change agent. You don't have to be like the expert in your school for everything. You don't have to have this many years of teaching experience to be a change agent, because no matter who you are and what you do, you have the power, you have a sphere of influence in your system. So I hope that's something that everyone takes away.
I love it. I hope that's something they all take away from it too. All right, so now let's get into the fun journey of the book. So tell me about the moment you said, I'm going to write this book. Like, was this something that you've always dreamt of doing, or is it something that's come about recently? And so when did you decide I'm going to write this book, but also like when did you decide this book, like this is what I'm going to write about?
So I have always wanted to write. When I was a little girl, I used to write like song lyrics and poems. And so I always said like, oh, I'm going to be a poet. I'm going to grow up and be a poet. No, I also wanted to be a backup dancer for Paula Abdul. That's yet to happen, but
okay. All right.
You never know.
That we may have to go that. We may have to take that road today. Okay, go ahead with the question.
But actually, you're going to love this. Listening to Adam Welcome at the Teach Better 19 conference, there were so many just like mic drop moments from his keynote. But I remember there, and I was like in literal tears, like I was sobbing. I was actually quite hysterical during his keynote. But after listening to him, I remember I even sent him a DM and I was like, I have to do something. Like I have to move. Like I feel like I'm like about to explode sometimes with, wanting to say something or wanting to do something and wanting to light fires. And so after the Teach Better 19 conference, we drove back home, and I was sitting in the office with my office mates I shared the space with. And I said, Jeanette, I need to write a book. And she goes, then write it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, just like that. Okay, gotcha.
And it was just like that. And I was like, sometimes I think it takes like a friend who, who cares about you, who's like, just do it then. Like,
yeah.
Just go. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
And so then you started.
So I started writing.
Tell me about how you got to the idea of this is what I want to write this book about.
So this has always been something that I have been extremely passionate about. I have served in multilingual ed spaces for 15 years, EL, bilingual. I was coaching for a while. And so that's always been my biggest passion. And I felt like the style of writing that I do, I always tell this story, and it might be a little, I don't know, it might be weird, but
it's all good. It's brain break. You're good.
When I was pregnant with my son, I was super young, and my mom handed me a book called What to Expect When You Were Expecting, right? Like the famous book.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it, and I remember just feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to fail. I don't know these words. I don't know what this is. Like, no way. This is like, I'm already just behind. I'm going to do this wrong. And then she handed me a different book a few weeks later called Girlfriend's Guide to Pregnancy. And the whole style of the book was so different. And it was just like a friend telling you in real terms, like not trying to use all these big fancy academic terms. It was just like a girlfriend keeping it real, saying, this is what you're going to do and you'll figure it out. And I was like, oh, okay. And so as I was writing this book, I've read a lot of different books on this topic. I love professional reading, but sometimes when I get books that feel over my head, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like ashamed of myself. And so I wanted to keep the style of just being just like a teammate, like having a conversation with a teammate of, these are some things that we can try together. These are things that we can do to really push beyond just the basics for multilingual students.
I love that. It's just having a conversation with Carly, telling you to just do it. All right, tell me about the journey. So your friend tells you just do it, which is awesome. You know where you want to go. Did you struggle with the writing? So I talked to a lot of people who write books and stuff, and it seems like even the ones that are like just writers, like once they get that, we're like, okay, I'm writing for this now. Like there's a struggle there. It's tough, and I know from ours it was tough, especially once you have that initial like urge, right? And you write a bunch, and then you go back and you're like, where did it all go? You're not in your head, so clearly you're here. So tell me about that. Tell me about that for a minute.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm given this opportunity, but like, oh no, now I actually have to do it. And they probably picked the wrong person. Like there's no way I could fill an entire book.
So when you say they, who's they?
EduMatch Publishing.
So how much had you done? How far along were you when you went there? And how did that, tell me about that. Like,
so,
because you didn't have the book all written, clearly.
Yes. Right? So I had a kind of a skeleton of all the things that I wanted to go into, to dig into. And so I had a few like patches of writing, I would say. And I had my table of contents and like kind of like my mission of what I was hoping to do. And I started to just kind of reach out to different publishers. And every time I got a no, I would feel like, see, this is the world telling me, no, this is not for you. Like, you should not be doing this. Who are you, Carly? Like, you should not be doing this. And then I was like, you know what? If I want to encourage my kids, like not only my students, but my own kids, to like, we just keep going. Like, getting a no is a good thing. So I started to make myself a little card every time I got a no. And I would make it my no card, and I would decorate it and like color it with markers and stuff. And I'd say, okay, you got to know. That means you tried something. And so then I was talking with Sarah Thomas from EduMatch, and I remember setting up a call with her, and I was sitting on my bedroom floor on my computer with her, and I said to my husband, like, oh my gosh, I hope this conversation goes really well, because then maybe, she could point me in some good directions. And then after the conversation, she's like, great, let's do it. Let's work together. And I'm sure she probably thought I was like just a complete goofball, because I think I sat there like a deer in the headlights, like, I think she just said yes, but maybe I just hallucinated. I don't know. And then after the call, I got off and I went downstairs, and my husband's looking at me like, oh, how was your call? And I just stared at him. I was like, he's like, is that good?
Is it good?
I think so. So
wow. Okay.
Super exciting.
So then it was time to write, and you push through that, and so now it's out. So what was the most difficult piece of the journey? Was it the writing? Was it the organizing, the editing? Did you have to pull out? We had to cut a bunch of stuff because we wrote too much. Was it the cover? What was it? What's the thing that anybody who hasn't written a book, they're like let's give us behind the scenes, like, hey, this is gonna suck.
So the editing was hard for me. It was a big challenge, and I had all these ideas of like pieces that I wanted, and I kind of just bunched it together like that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like in my original manuscript. And then once I got feedback from members of the team, I was like, all right, now I really need to chop this up. And so I brought the stack. I printed the whole book. I brought the stack to my parents' house. So they don't live very far from me, but I was like, I just need to be in a different space. I brought scissors and tape, and instead of cutting and pasting like in a computer, I physically needed to cut and move and like visualize it. And so I did it chapter by chapter, and it was a full weekend of doing that. And I thought I was going
so you like printed out your chapters and like you cut a paragraph out and move.
Yep.
That's so weird.
It was so weird. And then my mom is like, is this how y'all are supposed to do it? And I was like,
no,
I don't know how I'm supposed to do it. But this is how my brain needs to do it right now.
That's really cool that you recognize that that's how you had to do that, though. And that like just copy and pasting in a Google Doc was not going to get you where you needed to be on that visual. So it was the editing process. The
editing was awful. And then I'll also share, writing one specific chapter of the book was like excruciating for me.
Because
it was so deeply personal. And I share, and I can't to this day even like speak about it. I don't know. It still feels like super raw, I guess. I need to do more.
What chapter is this?
So this is the chapter called Beyond Your Call to Serve. It is chapter 10. And I share like just my experience of, trying to do so much, trying to serve and trying to support not only my students, but the families as well, because there were some really strong needs in one particular school year. And I kind of ended up in a space where I hit rock bottom in a really bad way. And so I can't even like speak about it, because
you have to get the book if you want to know what she's getting into. That's yes. I love it. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So all right, so I'm going to transition this slightly here, because you mentioned 2019 Teach Better Conference. That's the first time. Was that the first time we met? That was when we met, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of something. Like we hung out a couple other times, but yeah, we met at the conference first.
Yep.
So, and you gotta understand, 2019, like I know I met a lot of people, but I don't remember meeting a lot of people, because those days were such a whirlwind. I'm like, oh yeah, we did meet there. You're right. We actually had a really good conversation. I just can't remember it.
Yep.
So Adam was a big hit. Tell me, okay, I'm going total conference mode now. We just completely moved, because if you don't know, if you're watching, listening, or watching me play Teach Better Conference 2022, It's happening next October. Early bird pricing's out right now. Save $100 off right now to get it. So teachbetterconference.com for all of that. So you came out, you spoke. How many sessions did you do? Did you do one or did you do
I
more
did
than
one
that?
session, and it was like one of the first times I had.
That you ever did, really?
Yeah.
And that was we talked about this. That was one of my favorite things about the conference is we had a lot. We had some presenters that's what they do with their life is they present. We had people that present quite a bit, and we had a lot of people who had never presented other than maybe like an internal PD or something with their school who got to come and present for the first time, and that was so cool for us. And I'm excited about that again. I'm not excited about, and I've been saying this constantly. The thing that I'm most scared of right now and that I'm not excited about is picking because we have a lot more friends now. There's a lot more people in our world. I'm like, there are people that we love that we're gonna have to say no to, and I am terrified of that. So, with that said, you came in 2019. You presented. You were there. Yeah, you better be coming in 2022. Give me a moment, like a moment that from 2019 at the conference that still sticks with you. You mentioned Adam watching that, so I know that's one, but it'll be a different one.
Yes. Okay. So Alex, oh my goodness. I was sitting next to Alex
Valencic.
Yep. And it was towards the end of the conference. I want to say it was like the closing, I want to say, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. If
this guy?
Huh?
With this guy?
It might have been. It might have been.
Okay.
And so he and I like it was, and everyone became best friends, even if you didn't know people's names. Like you were just bonded in that moment forever.
Well, yeah, because we just squeezed everyone in there.
Yes,
so.
yes.
You had to.
And so Alex and I were sitting next to each other, and I followed Alex like for a long time before the conference. But
like
so
on Twitter, or were you like stalking him
on
like
Twitter?
Okay.
I mean both. He's so cool. But so I was sitting next to him and we hadn't spoken yet. And somebody said something and I'm laughing and I have the loudest laugh. I have like, it's embarrassing. I have the most obnoxious laugh in the world.
We know, Carly.
So I'm sitting there. Someone said something funny. I start laughing and he turns to me. He's next to me and he goes, "Oh, it's you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It's you. I have been hearing this."
What is this, Sleepless in Seattle? It's you. It's you.
Goes,
sorry.
I've been hearing this laugh all weekend or like all conference long.
It's you, the laugh, not you who's
the
connected.
Room, and it's you. You're the laugh. And I was like, "Yep." And I was like, "Can we be best friends and take a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah."
So it wasn't "it's you, we follow each other on Twitter." It was, "Oh, you're the thing I've heard all weekend."
Yes, exactly.
That's fantastic. So it was,
oh my goodness, it was so funny. But my other
yeah, we can share another one. That's a good moment though. I love
such
that.
a good
That's
moment.
awesome.
And Alex is just the best. Everyone deserves a friend like Alex because he is so supportive and like he just pours into people. I just
he's
adore
also
him.
like really, really, really smart. Like
brilliant.
Just a side note. Like the dude's really smart in so many ways. Anyway, go on. Yeah. Another moment.
My other moment was I first walked in and I'm like kind of shaking in my boots because like I knew folks, but not really knew them like super well. And I just kind of came by myself. I didn't have any, other teachers with me or anything like that. So I was like kind of walking in like the first day of school and I'm like, okay, like, I hope this is fun. And I walk in and then Chad walks up to like, he's just like making the rounds and he sticks out his hand. And he's like, "I'm so glad you're here." And I'm like, "Thank you." Thank you. And then I felt like, oh my gosh, that was really nice. And then I see him walking around doing the same thing as people are entering. And that just totally set the tone. Everyone, like the vibe was like, boom, like you're safe here. Like this is your space. You belong. Come on in. Like, yeah. So,
well, that was the hope. And I really hope we can do that again this year. A little bit bigger venue this time. That venue. I always what I've been saying is like the venue in 2019, like you couldn't get lost in if you had to, right? It's small, easy to navigate. The venue in 22, like it's really easy to get lost in. It's it's multiple, it's 5 floors. There's multiple elevators, and it's not like crazy big. It's just a taller building.
Okay.
So it's just a bigger space and cooler. And I'm hoping we can still make that magic of that connection stuff because it's a really great space, super cool. And we're actually, I believe we're going to be able to have more sessions going on than we even did then, which is cool.
That is so cool.
So, all right. So we covered. All right. Now we're gonna transition again. Okay. So we talked about the conference. Oh, I want to talk about because you mentioned it before we went live about a new course that just launched. So we can give some shout out to Carrie and Livia, Carrie Pitstick, Livia Chan. We just launched a course today. It's called, it fits kind of in here, writing strategies and marketing your work. The course is focused is more on blog writing and that type of thing. But just a huge shout out to those two women who are amazing anyway. So I know you write with us, like they run everything with our blog, which we have like 130 something educators from all over the world who write posts like crazy. And they just and Nikki and Karen there as well. That team is just unreal. Yeah. And then somehow in the mix of all that, Livia and Carrie are able to put together this course, and it's a big course. There's a lot of content in this course. It is not like a quick little thing. Like we always chunk them down, so you can chunk them out. You can get it. You can do it on your own time from any device, anything like that. But there's a lot of content in this course. So, are you in? Are you in there already? You're not in your head like you might have already taken the course. Are you like already through it or something?
I didn't take the course, but I logged in this morning because I saw it. I was like, oh, it's here. Any chance I can learn from Livia and Karen? Like, I mean, the two of them, like dynamic duo. Yes. And all things blogging. And like Ray was talking about it at one of the morning drop-ins. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she was saying like, there's just so much content, even like on the back end of like the marketing stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa. So I'm so excited to learn about all of that because I don't know.
I don't want to set your excitement like way too high and make you just go crazy or anything, but I do make a cameo in the course as well. So,
I mean,
one video, I just kind of snuck in there. I think I actually say in the video that I'm like crashing the party for one video. But yeah, so you touched on what's really cool about this course is that they go through like the stages, right? So they talk about things before you're writing, while you're writing, and then after you're writing, and then like after you're writing, like the marketing side of it as well. And they touch on things like how to get over like how to come up with ideas, how to write, from your authentic self and your heart, and how to brainstorm or get through, writer's block and stuff like that. And then how to review, what to think through. It's just, it's crazy. And what I love Livia in courses because, if you don't know Livia Chan, you should, but her videos when she does courses are the same. It's like, oh, I feel safe and warm here. Yeah. And I'm learning. Like, it's just this thing.
Yep.
And it's really cool. And you said it like they are the dynamic duo. They do such a good job together. And then, this course does go into, so it's about, and just so if you're watching or listening, like there are moments where we talk about and we say like, oh, like if you blog for us, we do this, but this course is not like, hey, if you blog for us, this is anything you need. Like if you don't blog for Teach Better, it doesn't matter. This course is for you. And it can be great. How do you do this on your own website or whatever website you work with? And we get into like, how do you market it? How do you share it out to make sure people get it? The video that I do is just a little bit on SEO, like how do you optimize for search engines and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of cool tips in there. It's just a good course. So I know you jumped in, you saw because you have the Academy membership. So it appeared, if you have that, it's already in your My Courses dashboard. Otherwise, you can jump over to teachbetteracademy.com for that. So that's awesome. So shout out to Carrie and Liv. I believe tomorrow night,
yes,
Dave is live with Livia to talk all about it tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be, because if you know Dave Schmidt, when he gets into that, he gets into those questions and he just digs deep. So that's going to be fun.
Speaking of Dave, speaking of
Ray, by the way, well, speaking of Dave, on the shirt, I'm sorry. I wish I would have wore my shirt, but Carly didn't tell me. So I actually think I'm not joking. I actually think my shirt is in the laundry because I just wore it the other day randomly. Like I wasn't on video or anything. I don't think I didn't tell Dave about it. I just wore my Dave face on my shirt.
Well, Jeff, when you said like, can you come on with me since like, and I was like, well, I can't be a replacement for Dave because
you're my better Dave. You're my better Dave.
But I'm the biggest Dave Schmittou fan in the universe. Like I think I am. Like
somebody call Caitlin because there might be a fight going on here.
Well, I'll be co-president with her.
Fair enough. That's a good duo there too.
Dave is like, he's always the person that makes everybody feel like a somebody. He makes everyone feel. He always has a kind word for everyone he ever meets. He's always just like so uplifting and so encouraging, and he's just a good guy.
He's always a jerk to me. I don't know what you were talking about right now. I'm like, who is this? Who are you talking about? What's up, Adam? Good to see you, brother. Always good to see Adam jumping in. All right. I grabbed some random questions that I want to throw at you too, because when I told Dave that you were coming on, first off, he was jealous, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta like throw random questions out there." She's a lot of fun with that. He told me to make you like sing and stuff too. Well, I don't know if we'll get there or not, but
yeah.
So
maybe we don't do the singing.
I have a few different sites up here, and I haven't looked at them. I have no idea whether they're good questions, bad questions, whatever. So I'm going to let you pick. I have 4 sites up. I have the ultimate list of podcast interviews, and they consist of, it looks like personal questions and like whimsical and off the wall questions. And then I have fun question. That's Gabe's. Okay, I have 3 things up. Another one is 271 best this or that questions for adults and students. And then 112 best would you rather questions. What would you pick? You want a would you rather, this or that, or ultimate podcast list?
Let's go. Joe is saying to sing. No, Joe, that was a one-time. That did not go well. You remember.
Joe, I'll see what I can do.
No. Let's go would you rather.
Would you rather? Okay. Would you rather? Here we go. Oh, okay. So we have some subcategories.
Okay.
Would you rather questions for work? Would you rather questions for team building? Would you rather questions for kids? I might do that one. Would you rather questions for teens? Would you rather questions for couples? Would you rather questions for guys, for girls, for adults? And hard would you rather questions? Funny would you rather questions? Dirty would you rather questions?
I'm debating between funny or teen.
Okay, we're going teen.
Okay.
Teen. All right, for teens. Number 38. Would you rather go without your phone or dinner?
I'd rather go without my phone. I need to eat. I love.
Would you rather go on a diet or work out regularly?
Work out regularly because I love food too much.
Would you rather go vegan or give up your favorite food? So like full on vegan or give up your favorite, which if your favorite food would be given up by going vegan, then
yeah,
I would just give up the favorite food.
I would just give up one favorite food.
Instead of
changing my whole life because fried chicken.
Adam Welcome would be disappointed.
I know.
Is it fried chicken that you don't want to give up?
I love I eat like I'm like a 5-year-old. Like I eat like a toddler. I'm like chicken fingers,
chicken nuggets,
French fries.
So Joe's with you. He'd give up the phone, and he would give up his favorite. Or Adam's with you. Would give up your favorite. All right. So I'm looking at you right now, and the style you got going on here. I don't feel like you're going to answer this next question one way or another. Okay. Would you rather go skydiving or snowboarding?
Oh, okay.
Like you're basically a snowboarder right now. Like with your, you're rocking the.
It's like the outfit vibe. Like
yeah, you got that.
I'm like really into like dressing like for different styles, but not really like doing that.
All right, we're gonna make a slight adjustment. Would you rather rock out the style of a skydiver or a snowboarder?
Rock the snowboarder look without going snowboarding.
This is a great one. I need you to really focus on this one. Would you rather move out of your parents' house or buy a new car?
I love my parents.
Are you currently in their house?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, like maybe it should be like move back in. But I
All
would
right.
love a new car.
We're gonna answer this next one. But we're gonna try not to go political with it.
Okay.
Would you rather get free college or free healthcare?
Free healthcare for me right now.
No kidding. Would you rather run for student council or volunteer at a local homeless shelter?
Volunteer.
We're gonna go to different. What was your other one? Funny. We're gonna move to funny. Funny. Would you rather? Number 98. Would you rather fight one bear-sized duck or 10 duck-sized bears? That is an awesome question.
Duck-sized bears. Okay. I think duck-sized bears would be adorable. Like,
no kidding. Like, I think just you go ahead and elaborate on that. I'm about to tweet this question out right now because I want to know what's going on.
This is a good question.
Okay.
This is a good question.
I've tweeted it out. I need to hear in the comments if you're still with us here. Would you rather fight one bear-sized duck, so like a big duck, or 10 duck-sized bears?
See, Adam says
Adam wants to fight a big old duck. Ducks can be mean, man.
But
that's a big duck too.
That is a big
That's like Howard the Duck coming at you.
Yeah.
But like not as cool.
Yeah.
Or 10, but there's also 10 of those little bears, like, but they're little guys. Like they're not cubs.
Little baby bears.
No, but like that's the thing about like cubs. People are like, oh, it's just a cub. I'm like, yeah, a baby cub bear is like 300 pounds, will kill you in a half second. A duck-sized bear, you probably just push it out of the way or something.
Yeah, or like give it a hug. Because
it's all about it's true. The bears, you take away those arms, it's just like a duck. Duck's got but the beak, man, the beak scares me.
I don't know. I don't trust birds.
This one's almost as good. Would you rather be without elbows or without knees? And I am imagining that you'd still have your legs or arms, you just wouldn't be able to move them.
Oh.
So like you'd be.
Well, I'm a proud member of the Couch Club, the Teach Better Couch Club.
Yes.
So I would say I'd rather not have knees. I guess.
You just lay down anyway.
Yeah. You just
fair enough.
So you guys, what you've learned about me today is that I'm super lazy and I eat awful.
This one might be inappropriate, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to ask it. I don't think it's appropriate. I'm second guessing myself. Okay, here you go. Would you rather have smelly feet would you rather have smelly feet or food stuck in your teeth all day? So I'm not sure what they're asking, whether they're saying, hey, would you rather have your feet be smelly or have food in your teeth all day? Or if they're asking, would you rather have smelly feet or food stuck in your teeth all day? Because like that's a very different question.
That is a different
question.
I'd
rather have food in my feet in my tooth all day than smelly feet in my tooth all day. But I think I'd rather have smelly feet than have something in my, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
My feet will bother me when I take my shoes off at the end of the day, but like that's something in your teeth? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna get one more.
Okay.
Well, some of these go. This is great.
Uh-oh.
Would you rather be a giant hamster or a tiny rhino?
That is the best question. That is the best question. Okay.
That one's going on Twitter too. That one's going out.
Wow.
It's
I think
going
that
out.
one needs some unpacking. I think I need. I mean, if I was a giant hamster, would I have a giant hamster wheel to like roll around town in? Because
I think we can say yes.
I think that would be pretty fun.
Adam's rocking tiny rhino. Like that's what he wants to roll with.
I wonder how tiny. How tiny are we talking? Like pocket size?
I'm thinking hamster size.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm kind of imagining like you're gonna be either a hamster that's the size of a rhino or a rhino that's the size of a hamster.
Oh. Mm.
Do you know how freaking cute a little rhino would be? Like,
that would be so cute. And you could be like,
okay, so just so you know, the dirty ones are not like dirty like you and I probably thought.
Okay.
They're literally like, would you rather jump in mud or forget to brush your teeth?
Oh,
like they're like dirty. Literally. Like literally dirty.
That's so funny.
Like, would you rather have bad body odor or bad breath?
Ew! Ugh.
This is a good one, though. Would you rather spill food on yourself, on your clothes constantly, or trip over the stairs constantly?
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you that I do both of those on a daily basis? And actually, I have a funny story about that. So when my daughter, so some of you know, like I have my daughter's in 4th grade right now, but when she was a toddler, we called her Chloe Diva Toddler because she was like Little Miss Fashionista. Like she put on every necklace she owned to go to the post office. Like she was just that girl. When she was in daycare, it was
I wonder where she gets that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. It's so weird. But when she was in daycare, like, you know, when kids are little, they're like, oh, please just keep an extra change of clothes at school in case they fall in mud or whatever.
Yeah.
So we always did. So there was like a period of like 3 weeks where she would be like, oh, you know, I had to change at school, Mom. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what happened today? Oh, I spilled something, or like, oh, I just got too muddy at recess or whatever. So it became like a pat, like every single day. And I was like, Chloe, like, what's going on? Finally, I talked with her teacher, and she's like, you know, I think she tries to get her outfit messed up. And so I asked her that night, I was like, are you like purposely messing up your clothes? And she goes, yeah, I just kind of want like an outfit change.
To do the hair change?
I was like, honey, you're like 3.5, 4 years old, and you're like requesting outfit wardrobe
She just
change.
wants the wardrobe change.
Wardrobe change. She's like, it's after lunch, new outfit, guys. It's time.
She's like hosting an award show where she's changing everything.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, all right, Chloe, there you go.
Oh. All right, these whimsical and off the wall questions for the podcast are not that good. They're not whimsical and off the wall. They're just like basic ones. Like, well, if you can live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Everybody knows it's Ohio.
Ohio, yes.
All right, I'm not up with these. These are driving me crazy. This one actually is one that you would ask on a podcast, but I actually don't mind asking you this. I think it could be a fun one. What are 3 books you'd recommend to everyone watching? Outside of that one, we already recommended that one.
Well,
we would recommend Moving Beyond, Teachers Deserve It, and Teach Better. Kids deserve it.
Are you kidding? So I was just like pulling that out, and then
I said teachers deserve it, not kids deserve it.
Well, I've got that one right here too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is that really what the 3 you would recommend?
Honestly, this one is like Mike. I told Adam this, and he probably thinks I'm lying, but I'm like legit dead serious. I've probably read this book like 7 different times.
Really?
Yes. And honestly, every single time I read it, I pull something completely.
That's the best about books like that you really get into is that you it's like watching Lost over and over again. You always learn something new. I don't know if you ever watched Lost.
I've never watched Lost.
You've never watched Lost?
No.
I've watched that entire series like 15 times, and I legit every single time it's like a whole nother, not necessarily I knew it. A whole other experience is going a little too dramatic, but like there's so many little things you pick up. You're like, oh, I didn't catch that the first 5 times.
Yes. See, I love.
It's like that. It's like a good book like that where you're like, oh, like I caught that. Because then when I read this the first time, I was in this mindset. You were looking for certain things.
Yeah.
And you read the second time, you're like, oh, I know those things. Like I wonder what else is here. And you read another time, and that's why like I have all my books over here, and like I always joke because I'm like I've probably only read, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them front to back. Because most of them I use books so much like as references where I'm like,
yes.
I'll go, and if I'm like, oh, I'm in a mood, like I need something. Oh, I need some Gary Vee. I'm gonna go grab a Gary Vee book, or I'm looking to. I want to be in the education world, so I'm gonna grab whatever the heck I would grab. I don't know, what would I grab? Learning Transformed or something, or whatever, right? Then I go there, but I almost never read a book through. I read
like pieces,
a chapter, or I just look for a couple sentences. I just need that little something. So that's cool that you go in there and stuff. So
yes, love it.
Adam says The Little Prince. I don't know if is that a book recommendation, or is he calling
that's
Adam
one that he would
that?
That's one that he would, that's one he would recommend. You know what? When I was teaching 3rd grade, my kids said it so well because I was like, oh, like we read a novel at the beginning of the year together, and then at the end of the year, the kids were like, oh, can we read it one more time? And I was like, well, no, guys, we already read it. And then one student goes, but I want to spend more time with those characters.
You can't say no to that.
Wow. I was like, that was such a beautiful and eloquent way to say that. I was like, I love that. Like you want to spend more time with those characters. Genius. I love that.
Yeah, so. That's awesome.
So
all right, this or that.
This or that.
Bad haircut or bad dye job?
Oh, bad dye job.
Pineapple pizza or candy corn? We're going rapid fire.
I would choose pineapple pizza.
Talking pets or talking babies?
Talking pets.
Winning the lottery or finding your soulmate?
Oh, well, I already have my soulmate, so I'm gonna say winning the lottery.
I think this is Alex jumping in. Alex, we talked about you earlier. You got to go back. So,
Alex,
I'm driving to my wife was commenting for me. I don't know if the comments, but I don't think any of them posted. Alex, this is the first one we've seen from you. Misquoted movies or mistaken lyrics? Yeah, I don't know if this is like a which do you hate worse or which do you love more. I don't.
Oh my gosh. I love misquoted or like messed up lyrics. I love that.
God, yeah. There's that one comedian that it's like what he does. I love that. I can't remember.
I love that.
Test the waters or dive in the deep end?
Dive in the deep end.
Glass half full or glass half empty?
Half full.
Ketchup or ranch?
Ketchup. And I'm like,
good.
You have to whisper that.
I know. I'm in Ohio.
Chicago.
In Ohio, it's like, it's like this whole Midwest area. I don't know what the obsession with ranch is.
Yeah.
Phone in bathroom or no phone in bathroom?
No phone in bathroom.
Sort by price or by rating? Like on Amazon or wherever you shop.
Oh, it depends. It depends on
what?
On what it is. So if it's like I just need a little pick me up, I'm gonna sort by price.
What's a little pick me up purchase for you?
For me,
an outfit,
outfit,
bar.
shoes, jewelry. Person.
That's by price. That's by price.
Well, it depends on.
All right, we're getting way too deep into this.
We're getting way too deep.
If you're buying a new purse, is it price or rating?
Rating.
If you're buying a new refrigerator, price or rating?
Probably rating.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. Sauce on the side or sauce on top?
Sauce on the side.
Crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth.
Ooh, I'm a crunchy. I used to be smooth. It's weird. When I was younger, I love peanut butter jelly, peanut butter. My dad always had crunchy, and I'm like, this is disgusting. And now I don't like smooth. But everyone else in my family likes smooth. Ooh, zombies or vampires? I don't know if this is which do you like better, what movies are better, or who would you rather fight? I don't know. Or who would win in a fight. I don't know what the question actually is.
I have no idea how to even answer that. I don't watch a lot of shows with that kind of stuff or read books about that stuff. Which one vampires come out at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm like, I go to bed real early, so.
Zombies.
So I'll say zombies.
I imagine if you're part of the Teach Better Couch Club, you got to go zombies. Who's that there? Oh, that's Alex again. Good call on the crunchy from Adam. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Funny story or a one-liner? I
like one-liners.
I like stories too, but they gotta be like perfect. Bad breath or body odor? Which is worse, I guess.
Which is worse? Body odor.
Currently working hard or hardly working?
Right now, hardly working.
Sneezing or coughing? I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is which is worse or which you would rather do.
I think I'd rather sneeze. Sneezes are the best.
Yeah, sneezes are the best. Coughing sucks.
Yes.
Air guitar or air drums?
Oh, that's a.
Are you this or are you that? Like,
I think I'm probably more. No, I would say I'm probably more drums.
I want to say I'm more guitar because I play guitar, but I'm pretty sure I probably go to this more often. Like, like
Yes, exactly.
I don't know why I do that. That's probably why I have no friends. Robots or dinosaurs?
What was the first one?
Robots or dinosaurs? I'm gonna say the question though is who's more likely to take over the world?
Robots.
Or a dinosaur is gonna come back because they've been hiding in Russia somewhere and we don't know about it yet. I was thinking of like the that Chris Pratt movie. Anyway, they weren't dinosaurs; they were aliens. Anyway, guacamole or salsa?
Guacamole. That was one of my daughter's like first multi-syllabic words. I'm a big guac girl.
Ooh, I don't like guacamole.
You don't?
No, I'm a big salsa fan. No, I hate guacamole. I'm a big salsa fan though. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Fainting or spit take? I don't know what that means.
I'll choose fainting then because I am a fainter.
Speeding ticket or parking ticket?
Parking.
Which are you more likely to get, maybe?
I'm probably more likely to get parking tickets.
Oh, really? You don't just because you don't know how to park, or?
No, because I don't know how to read signs. Like I grew up in Chicago, like in the North Side. I think for all of my college years, I probably had 1 million parking tickets.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to it's a really small university in the city. It was North Park University.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Albany Park.
Okay.
It's the best. It was the best.
Okay, this is a good one. Which one's better? A comedian in a serious film or a serious actor in a comedy film?
Oh, a serious actor in a comedy.
Silly hats or silly socks?
Silly hats.
Instagram famous or infomercial famous? I love that. Instagram.
I love infomercials. Like,
I'm just thinking of like, are you like an Addison Rae fan or the My Pillow guy? Like, which way are you going at? Like, is that what we're choosing from here? Like,
okay, then I would go the other way because I love Instagram bloggers and the girls who are like, let me do a try on.
Are you a TikTok person?
I watch
a lot of people that do that. There's several of them there's a couple that are a bit big that are like, I bought this so you don't have to. I'm trying this on so you don't have to.
Yes, I love that.
They go to like Target and buy like the dresses and
post your Amazon haul or your Target haul or your Ulta Beauty haul. Yeah. I love that stuff.
A store where every item is free or a restaurant where every dish is calorie free. Oh, geez, that's easy. Calorie free. In my opinion. Well, it depends on the store, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's like a Nordstrom.
If it was a store that sells matching like shoes, dresses, and purses, pack on the calories because we're going there. Passwords or secret handshakes?
I say I like secret handshakes way more than passwords.
Do you have passwords or secret handshakes with your kids? Like, so
I did.
No. With your kids.
With my own kids.
Like if someone would try to pick them up or something, like from school, do they have to answer a certain password?
You know, when I was a kid, we did that.
My kid, we have a password. We have a family password that's
yeah.
Loud neighbors or nosy neighbors? So noisy or nosy?
I think I would prefer nosy.
Okay. Babies dressed as animals or animals dressed as humans? Only one of those is Monica's pet peeve.
Babies.
Monica doesn't like animals dressed as humans.
Oh.
Friends? Are you really? It's the lightning round?
I watched a lot of Friends, but I don't remember that.
But, all right, I'm gonna ask like two other ones: vacation or staycation.
Right now I'd say vacation.
Netflix or Hulu.
Netflix.
Owe money or owe a favor.
Owe a favor.
Coffee or tea.
Coffee.
City or countryside.
If there's a time limit, I would say countryside.
Smartphone or tablet?
Smartphone.
Wine or beer?
Wine.
Cooking or being cooked for? That's an interesting one.
Oh, being cooked for.
Okay. Oh, I think I know the answer. Lose sleep or skip a meal? Lose sleep.
Lose sleep. I don't skip meals. No.
I think you kind of alluded to this, but fiction or nonfiction? Where do you go normally with books?
Lately I've been doing more fiction.
Espresso or drip coffee?
Espresso.
Hot coffee or iced coffee?
Iced. Year round.
This is a good one. Really? This is a good one for you. So in the morning, do you do iced?
Yep.
My brother's husband, that's all he hates coffee, but he loves iced coffee. Like,
see?
It's crazy.
It's magical. Something magical happens in the cup when you add
We're going to wrap it up with this one because I think this is a great one for you to wrap up with. Patterned or plain? I'm thinking clothes. Like, I'm almost asking
right.
like checkered or stripes. Like, what do we go with? And your answer is flowers.
Yes. My answer is everything.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Anyway, so that was fun. Thanks for playing with me. If you're just joining us, make sure that you check out Carly's book. It's out on Amazon, Mood and Beyond, from EduMatch. So shout out to our family over at EduMatch. Let's see, tomorrow morning, I get to go live with James O'Neill for Daily Drive at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Everywhere that we're at right now, that will be there. And then tomorrow evening, Dave Schmidt will be live with Olivia Chan talking about the new course, which is over at teachbetteracademy.com, which is writing strategies and marketing your work, which Carly is diving into later tonight, I think. What else we got? I'm gonna check. I gotta check in Twitter. I want to see if anybody answered my question yet. I have some people saying hamster, giant hamster over a tiny rhino. I forgot about that question. That was a great question. That was a good question.
Good question.
All I can picture is the tiny rhino. Anyway, all right. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Congrats on the book. So happy for you. I'm excited for that to continue going. I want to mention real quick before we go, we do have our free PD contest going on right now. So you can head over to teachbetter.com/free PD 2021 and submit. It's free to enter. You just have to enter once. And we're going to select and give away 10 free PD sessions. So make sure you do that. Get Carly's book. We'll see you next week back here on Brain Breaks, same time, same place. If you need anything, please reach out. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the morning, I guess.
Bye.